I'll just bend down and go like this. People are so open-minded here. I saw a guy in college, he had purple hair and she actually helped me a lot finding a job. Can you feel this? And after that, I have never talked with him.
Hello, guys, and welcome to another brand new episode of Far From Home Talks podcast. And today, I have a guest who, uh, who's I basically know her from the last 2 weeks from an event that happened organized by Fanshawe Students Union, and she's the president of the Indian Culture Club here in Fanshawe College. Let's just welcome Kavya to this podcast. How are you?
I'm good, you?
I'm good too. Let's just start by asking questions. I'll start like what I usually ask, and then in the middle I will ask about the Indian Culture Club. Okay. So when did you arrive here in Canada, and why you arrived here?
So I came here in December 2022. Yeah, December 2022. And I was the Jan intake person. So yeah, I had difficulties finding the job. But why did I arrive here? Because my parents wanted me to go out of the country and live all on my own. Like learn how to live all on my own. That's the reason I came here.
You said that your parents kind of like push you to come here.
No, they recommended me. They
Or
pushed me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So were they were the only motivating reasons to come here, or like did you had any other motivating reasons?
No, they were the only ones. Like my brother-in-law, who recently became my brother-in-law, was here and he was also a student here. He can be one of the motivations, but yeah, my parents were the sole motivation until he became my brother-in-law.
Okay. Have you experienced any difficulties in obtaining this study visa to come here in Canada?
Yeah, actually, I passed out of my 12th in April and I wanted to come in the September intake. But due to many factors, like I changed many agents, my dad was here in Canada and we were not able to process something because all the financial things and everything was handled by him and he was here because of his business purposes and that delayed it. Then agents delayed it. Some kinds of colleges required math, and but I was in the state board for 12th. I changed my board in 10th grade from CBSE to state board, and my state board did not had math as a subject in commerce. So that was a big requirement for every colleges. And then I went to IDP and they recommended me Fanshawe. They were taking any students in 5.5 bands and everything. So I came up here to landed here.
What all challenges did you have you faced when you arrived here in Canada and adapting to the life here in Canada?
The biggest challenge was me to adapt to the weather because I kind of have allergy to snow, which I got to know from her. Like my eyes swell up, even like if I am in a room sleeping and I wake up in the morning, my eyes will be swollen up, and if I open the window, I'll see snow outside. So my eyes are kind of snow detectors here, and the only difficulty was that in health. But the second difficulty was I was not able to find job for 4.5 months. My whole batch, like every person in my group, if I say now, my colleagues who landed in Jan, they even did not had jobs until April, May. So that was a main difficulty of a Jan intake student to find jobs.
So before like moving on to the next question, first I want to like ask you from where, like on which part of India where are you from?
I am from Gujarat, west part of India. I am from Ahmedabad. I have lived most of my life there. But I have moved around places.
Yeah. The next question is, what's the most surprising cultural difference that you have faced here in Canada?
not cultural difference, but it was like people are so open-minded here.
Yeah.
I love that they're like, nobody cares about you. Nobody even thinks twice about, like, if I meet you and you have, a different colored hair, I would just look at them and move on. I would not gossip about it to
Yeah.
everyone. And like, unlike India, like in India, we like, oh, I saw a guy in college, he had purple hair. And it was a topic of gossip. And the next time you see that guy in India, you'll click a picture and send it to your whole group.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And here, I have seen like girls with no eyelashes. And I would be like, if I would be in India, I would be judging them a lot. But here, like my brother once told me, yeah, we are Indians, we have a habit to bitch about people. So when I landed here in December, I stayed with my family. Like I have our family here,
Yeah.
and my brother was laughing like ha 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 one day, and I was like, laugh in a manner like people will judge you, and he's like, nobody will judge here, and if you judge somebody, you'll be thrown out of this country. I'm like, I'm thrown out, and then I won't judge anybody. That is how I stopped judging people.
Since I've asked the question of cultural difference, I want to like ask a few questions about your like club.
Club, yeah.
Yeah. As you are the president of Indian Culture Club here in Fashion College, so I want to ask you questions relating to that. What motivated you to start the Indian Culture Club?
So in January, I actually wanted to volunteer. I tried Red Squad, but there were no entries. I tried Class Step, but I was late. So I actually tried many things in FSU, but none of them worked at that time. So once there was, a club's day. I went in FSU for that, like to just go around. I can join any club or no. I joined 2 of the clubs, and then I got a charter that you can even start your club. And I did not find any club related to Indian festivals who could promote Indian festivals, because I was not sure if FSU does those festivals or not, but I did wanted to feel homesick staying here, and I also did wanted others to feel homesick who are feeling or must be feeling, like everybody feels that. So I wanted to start that, and then at the start of this everything, I just took all the details from my classmates only and made a club, and then I started promoting the club in various groups and stuff, and then everybody joined with the form link and stuff. So that was okay. Like, yeah, that was the only thing.
As you're the president of the Indian Culture Club, so can you tell us about what are the activities or events that are happening in the club?
So till date, we have never got any rooms from FSU. So we plan all our, festivals or meetings outside in the, London city.
Oh.
So mostly we go to the Hindu Cultural Club, Hindu Cultural Center.
Yeah.
Which road? I forgot the road. Bus number 3 goes there.
Bus number 3.
Yeah, 17 and then 3. Clark Road, sorry. Yeah, so Clark Road. There we go. We sometimes go at Gurudwaras as well. And we just hang out there like normal people. Sometimes we go at Mahashivratri functions. We went for like different functions. We even celebrated Phoolo Ki Holi. That was celebrated by, London City and some of the organizers. We went there. Like we go, like we have a club and like we have a group and we chat in that and we say that we are planning to go here, who all can come at this time and stuff. And then we plan it all together and we go out. Because college is unable to provide. Yeah, they might not have that at that moment, but we have to arrange it by ourselves and we have to enjoy it anyhow. Because if you go alone, you won't be able to enjoy that much. If you go in a group, you start making networks, like you start networking with people, and that even helps you sometimes. Like I'll tell you a funny story. Because of this club, I got my job.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I got invited to gala last year,
Yeah.
and I met a person. I would not name her. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And she actually helped me a lot finding a job. She worked at my workplace, Walmart, and she gave me her reference,
Mm.
and I literally got job in 3 weeks after that.
Nice.
The Indian Cultural Club helped me get the job. I can say that.
Yeah. Nice.
So volunteering is the only thing you do first, and then you get the job.
Yeah, I also feel that is why I'm also part of class trip here. And my other question also was like, did the FSU help you in like planning creation of the
Club.
Yeah.
They guided me how to do it.
Yeah.
They sent me a form, like they asked me to go to this website, fsu.ca/clubs, and then you can search for the club charter forms. You can sign up from there, make your club, make the president, make the vice president, those signing officers, and they just recommended me to give FSU more than 10 members to approve it for funding. So when you put in that form, at that time you have to put in the details of club members as well. So they give you slot for 25, and it was difficult for me to find out the details of all the students. Yeah, even if they wanted to be a part, I cannot, advertise about it because it's not a club yet.
Yeah, until yeah.
So I have to get my contacts to make it a club, and then I can advertise about it.
Hey, like the club is like relatively new at that time. So how were you able to gather those people?
So even in buses, sometimes I joined the class rep program in May,
Yeah.
and I'm still a class rep till now. So it's been a year. In that meeting, I met some people who also wanted to become a part of a club or something. So I met Sule at that time, and he actually helped me network with many people because I have a network, he has a network, and both of us can grab some of the people. Even we had a common friend that actually helped me trust him more.
Yeah.
And and then we spread it all around. And we have those WhatsApp groups of fanshow students, fanshow this, fanshow that. And we shared about our group everywhere. Then right now, if I want to organize something, I'll just call one of my friends. We have separated the department. So I have one as an event manager. He will just take care about all the activities which we are going to do there. And we usually don't use any funds from FSU. We just do it all on our own because it's like a minimal cost of $10 to $20.
Yeah.
It's not a big thing. So he organizes everything. We have one for catering, but we don't usually do any cater because we get free food from everywhere.
Okay.
So she is in charge for catering. Then we have one person like Sudha, I told you about, and he is in charge for looking up the members. So we have these many members. These are these wanted to add up in the group, and these students want to come up in the club, and then other we have two of them actually. The other girl also helps him manage those, but the thing the other girl do is just about the events, and he does all about the club and members. That's how we organize all the stuff, and at the end I just have to put it in the group that you have to come, and if a week prior or something, and then they sign up in the list, and I even give them the end date so that we know that these many people are coming even 2 days before the event.
Honestly, I didn't know about this club, the existence of this club in this college, because I'm not I was not an extrovert or not a I was not an extrovert or I like to be in a confined space on my own. So I was not able I didn't like to go out of my comfort zone. But now I realized that
You missed it.
yeah. I
It
should
was
have,
fun.
yeah, I should have like done or meet a lot of people to know about this. What all challenges did you face while creating this club and being a person?
We want everybody to participate
Yeah,
because like everybody is doing some work to make things work
yeah,
out,
yeah,
and then we don't feel really good. It's everything voluntary. We
yeah,
are not getting paid for it, so we sometimes feel that our work hard work is getting into like
yeah.
nothing. So we sometimes not everything.
Yeah, like even though you are doing voluntarily, like how I'm doing this podcast, it is my own thing. I'm doing this for my personal like skill development, experience, and satisfaction. That is what I think that's what matters. And one final question about the
Club.
club.
Yeah.
Being an beginner
Mm.
from India,
Mm.
how has your leadership approach in the club has changed during your term?
Okay. So first I'll answer the leadership part,
Yeah.
and then I'll say what
Yeah,
has
okay.
changed and stuff. So I came here after my 12th grade, plus 2,
Oh.
and junior college for some records. So in that scenario, I am the youngest person in the club, and it's many a times I feel like people don't listen to me
Yeah.
because you are young. I'm not listening to you. Then I'll be the one, not a cute child. Please do that for me. Please do that for me.
Yeah.
And then they'll like, okay, we are doing it for you and stuff.
Yeah.
So all the other members like in my committee
Yeah.
are really experienced, and they have worked in India. They have actually been team leads and stuff. And I'm the one who is leading, and they need to take my permission for everything. So I sometimes feel like, oh no, you can do it on your own. You don't have to ask me. You know more than me. And many a times I feel that sometimes they need a president's approval, and at that time I feel like, okay, I am a leader, and I don't have to think about the age of people. Just do what
Yeah.
like I have to do, what are my obligations towards some things. So that's the only thing I personally feel is has changed my leaderships. I really admire one of my managers. I'll mention her name, of course. She's Drishti. She works at Walmart. She's the customer service manager. And I have seen her working. And she has actually inspired me to this leadership thing.
Yeah.
Because she's also the youngest CSM. She's almost like my age, 1 or 2 years older than me. And she manages people of like 40s, 50s, and older than that.
Yeah.
So I learned it from her. So you don't have to make people feel belittle,
Yeah.
but you have to do your work in a way that people don't even feel that you are taking out work from them. That's the thing I learned. And what was the other part, Chandi?
I also forget.
It's fine.
Okay. When I first met you, I thought you were kind of like a bit elder than what you said right now. You are young because you are a matured person. I feel.
Everybody says that.
Yeah.
When they hear me, when they don't look at me, but when they hear me, they're like, okay, you're 24, 25,
Yeah,
estimated.
Looks like that.
And when I start doing my original stuff, and if I act like, please do that, no, and then this, and then okay, yeah. And I just do like, I'll just bend down and go like this, please do it. And then they're like, okay.
Okay.
Then they think, okay, you are young.
Yeah. Yeah, but some older people are like think like. No, I'm not saying about the whole this young generation. Like some people do have like are more matured or like more what do you call more Yeah, mature. So some older people think that, oh, they are kids.
Yeah,
They don't know
it happens
anything.
with me.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like they feel that all the young people are same.
Yeah. And when it comes to kids, people are like, okay, you are just a kid,
Yeah,
you don't know about it
Yeah.
a lot. And then I just give that, like, sometimes like once it happened in one of the events, it was even, when was it? I don't remember exactly, but it happened like there was this guy of 27 or 28, and he just, and they all knew my age.
Yeah.
So it was like, I just said them, please don't make fun of the things, it's fine. And he was like, you are young, you don't know about it, you don't know how to run stuff. And I just landed him with the reports of the club. Can you fill this on? Can you fill this? And end of every semester we have to give club reports, right? So it was the end of semester last term, and due to some issues, like I told you about my co-op stuff, right?
Yeah.
So due to that, I was already very, many things were going on
Many
in my
things, yeah.
head, and I was like, I don't want to do this time, and he was bugging me at that time. So we didn't had actually any event or that. We just had a meeting for everybody and what needs to be done in the winter semester,
Yeah.
because we don't have any festivals in
Yeah.
winter unless we celebrate Lori, and we had Makar Sankranti, but it was just to meet, not much things. We even said, like, we have only 4 to 5 things here, so we just had a meeting, and he was doing like he was blaming me, I'm not the right president and I don't know how to do stuff. And I'm like, okay, fill this up for me, right? Fill this up. And he's like, you are experienced. Yeah, I'm president, I'm experienced, I have done it since last 2 semesters. And then you're like, okay, you are now doing this leadership thing, and I'm just like, no, I'm not doing it. You just said I'm not the right president, so I just gave you. If you can do my stuff, you will be the next president. I'll transfer my presidentialship to you. And then he just went off. Okay, it's your choice.
Yes.
You are walking away. I did not walk away.
Yeah. Nice, nice.
And after that, I have never talked with him.
I've kind of realized something that people who like are whom I don't like, or like let's say like are not my kind of
Bye.
vibe, I just stop talking to them. I just ignore them. Mhm. Okay. Do you have anything else to say about the topic? Because I'm going
No,
to.
that's all. I was overshared it.
Okay. So, do follow in a culture club. Not just follow, go to the events and participate in their club. And
Now Shell is the new president from next term, and he is gonna throw very great events in college. You don't have to go anywhere outside.
so you have the answer. So join right now. Who those who are watching and who those who are in Paris College. Let's go to the my podcasting or like
Yeah.
my questions. Okay, what advice would you like to give to the governments or policymakers to support the immigrants? Let's start with back home in India, in the government.
Huh. I don't think they would make any of the
Changes.
policy changes, because according to them, it's the brainstorm.
Yeah.
Because good talents like you and me are going out of India, and like we have used resources, we have learned from there, we have grown up, and because of some amenities only we are here. Not why is not everybody from India here?
Yeah.
So I don't think they would make any changes. They can only just build up good relations with the other countries so that we don't face any issues
Yeah.
here. But I don't think they would make any changes or policy changes about us helping us come here.
Yeah, I mean, like in one of the episodes before, like
Brain drain. Sorry, it was not brainstorm, it was brain drain.
I also don't want to like interrupt between the conversation.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can put it as blooper.
In one of the episodes earlier, Devika, who came in this podcast, she talked about like how governments back home in India, they come in the news and all, and they tell that all the youths are going outside, all the people are going outside, and she said that they should actually think that why are they going outside? It is because maybe they
No
are
jobs.
no jobs, or like their lifestyle, or like whatever the government does in the country, that is why they are going outside. That is their escape to like maybe escape to
Different countries.
the country.
Even the money is higher here. India is like $1.62 till now. So it's like you stay here. As I mentioned, I'm going to India, right? So you stay here, you earn like $1,000 and you spend there 60,000 and you're like, okay, I'm rich now. That's the reason some students might come up here and earn more money and then go back and stay like a very wealthy life.
But like the income is more, that I agree, but the expenses also more. So
Yeah, that's why I said only 1,000. I didn't say 2,000.
okay.
You can only save 1,000 in 4 months. You cannot save more than that.
How do you cope with the emotional toll of being away from India and your loved ones in Canada?
So, in that case, in the starting,
Especially during festivals or holidays. Yeah, go on. Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. So, I personally didn't felt that homesick, which every student feels. I just miss my food because I'm a foodie person.
Yeah.
In festivals and stuff, when you see your family all together and every like your cousins, your sibling, and everybody's enjoying, at that time you miss it a lot. Like almost all the time I start crying. It's like 1 or 2 tears will fall out.
Yeah.
It's not like I am not happy with them, but it's like I'm missing it. It's like FOMO.
Yeah.
And if I would say to cope up with that, that's why I made this club.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I found a good small family here to enjoy with it. And then yeah, even FSU promotes many of the stuff like if you're missing, like we just had this birthday. We have every birthday month, birthday and stuff. So you can just go in those events and like what else? You can just meet your friends and enjoy and party and stuff. I just came out, like I just came out of a shell, and the life in India, which people think is really fun, is the college life. And I ended up here in my college life. So I personally didn't had that much of missing part because I started it here. So I didn't miss India a lot, but I just miss my family. In festivals, it's like, okay, I'll enjoy mine, you enjoy yours. Then it's like, just divide it. Don't connect too much, or else you'll get hurt. Just start living your life. Like when my parents used to go out like to different places on vacations, I was like, okay, I'm not going anywhere. I don't feel like I didn't felt good for only one time, and then I learned that it's the only thing. Like if my like one of my relatives' son is also here, and we used to go out with those relatives, and then I said like, how would that guy would feel if like would he see us like why are they going out? We went to Goa, we went to there and there, and won't he feel like I am getting missed out and they don't miss me? But the only thing is that it's no choice. You cannot go back on a vacation for 10 days and come back. That would be like 2,600.
Yeah. And president of FSU for 24 to 25, Sid
Sid.
also came in this podcast and he talked about like when we are missing our like family or like anything culture wise back home from back home, there are events or anything happening anywhere around here because either in college or like maybe in the city. So I think we think that like we are getting homesick or like we don't have nobody.
It's a choice.
This is John's say. So we have to go to those events and meet people to make connections. And that's how I think you can maybe feel less homesick.
Yeah. I could say that I saw his podcast, and that's how I connected myself with that yes, I did that. And then he even mentioned his story all along, like he joined class and he got rich for. I'm like, okay, I'm following him. And no, he is not a person that anybody can follow. He's really great person. Yeah. I don't have that much patience.
And that's right. I mean, like one thing about Sid is that I feel he's actually not only looks, he acts like a leader. And I think that's why he got elected for the FSC president.
No, but what I think about him is he has a lot of patience to lead someone. Like, he once, there was a scene, he once taught me how to play pool. And I am, complete nerd at pool. And he was like patiently teaching me every single. I was doing the same mistake every time he was teaching me the same thing, but he didn't got curious for even one moment. And then, even that time, I told him, if I would be at your place, I would just go home. I don't want to teach you. He has that patience. He came twice or thrice and played with me, and I was like, okay, this person is playing with me and teaching with me, and is even that patient that I am making a foolish mistake, and he's okay. Like he won't even judge me for that. That is like I personally feel is the sole reason he is the right president.
Correct. So, have you faced any type of discrimination here in Canada so far?
Discrimination. Discrimination. A lot.
Racist.
A lot. I won't say not like literally a lot. Even if you, I faced it first with a bus driver. I ran for the bus all way, and I was standing there at the bus stop. He took the last passenger before me and left. And I just saw one more thing. With the same driver, I used to go in the same bus, and the driver for one bus is for one semester. And I noticed it. There was this guy, white, and he ran from all the way, and he picked next day, literally next day, and I was like, I would kill that person. Then I've even faced it at the workplace. White people get more opportunities. They get promoted easily. They are being heard easily. Only my assistant manager is like that, not everybody. But yeah, sometimes I feel it's like one of our, the manager and the managers, like customer service managers. Our assistant manager listens to one of our customer service manager who's white more than any other. So sometimes even majority does not win in that case. I just feel that sometimes they need to be impartial of color, background, religion, and just look at the truth.
Yeah, that's true. And like, can I ask you, like, was the whi- was the driver white?
Yeah. I can give his full description. I don't mind.
No.
He was white with bald white hair and short and fat guy.
I'm talking about Dwayne Johnson.
Sorry?
He's not fat.
No, he was not that fat, but he was round.
Yeah.
See, I'm doing body shaming now. I am accusing them of being racist and I'm body shaming. No, it's not. I'm just describing.
So, if you could bring one aspect from India to this country, what would that be? It can be food, people, culture, and
The only thing I just saw a reel 2 days ago, and I felt it should be here in Canada as well. In India, if you see any white people around, you see them as celebrities.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
invite them.
Yeah.
You are so in like you will ask them to taste your
Open.
stuff. You open up your stuff to them. You introduce them to your culture.
yeah.
Here they'll be like, "Why are you here? Just get out of my country, you brown skin." And I'm like, this should be invited here as well, because I won't say everybody, but 70% is accepted.
Yeah.
With those 30,
Yeah.
they are the worst I
Worst.
can ever say. Like, I'm personally a cashier. I am a cashier at Walmart, and I personally feel that many people just don't come in my line and go to the whites line.
Yeah.
Because if I'll touch this stuff, then it will get brown.
It is like dowry back home.
Yeah,
Isn't
kind-
dowry like kind of like touching?
No, not like that.
Dowry.
No, that's
There was some
that was untouchable things.
Yeah, but there was someone term for that.
Shudra.
Was no.
Yeah. We had those, Brahmin,
Yeah.
Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. So it was the Shudra thing. Untouchables. Who
Yeah.
Gandhiji
Untouchable.
yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, untouchable.
Yeah, untouchables. Yeah, it's that kind of thing. They won't come to my lane or any of the brown skinned lanes, and they go to white lanes. White skinned lanes.
So that is the only thing that you want.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what resources or support networks have been helpful to you to be an immigrant here in Canada?
Volunteer. Go volunteer everywhere. Wherever you see.
I mean, like, as your Indian citizen,
Hmm.
you want to do some research about Canada,
Hmm.
and what help you research, or like what resources help you to do that? I mean, I'm asking that.
Yeah, okay. So I saw many vlogs from YouTube, and I would mention one or two. It's one of them was Perry Kona, and he's a really great guy. He mentioned about I got to know about Masonville and White Oaks from his vlog. I even got to know about Freshco, like many different places which I never heard about. Like, we all know about Walmart, we all know about Subway, Domino's, but nobody told me about Freshco. Nobody told me about Lovelo's. Nobody like he actually introduced me throughout this college. He
Yeah.
used to visit, like he used to show college, like this is the place you can
Yeah.
go, and this is the place, this is the Subway, Tim Hortons, and Pizza Junction. And he actually most of the things which he mentioned, my friends call me Google Maps for college. I know all the shortcuts and all the traffic-less ways. So, I have seen his videos. I have ran around the college a lot, and after that, I got to know about. Did you know that if you take receipts from Tim Hortons and then you'll just get coffee for $1 after you complete a survey? That is one thing I got to know from him.
I think I have completed it, but
you have to go with that receipt to rebuilding Tim
Oh,
Hortons.
acha. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like that.
And ask them for $1 coffee or any of the Tim Hortons shop as well.
Oh, like that. I didn't have like.
Yeah.
I thought you mentioned like we have to fill some college survey or
No,
like
no, no, no. It's just that when you order for a
I
coffee,
know.
yeah. So I got to know that hack from him, and he used to teach me like. My mom started watching that before me, and she used to tell me, "Okay, watch that video now. Okay, watch that video." She was more excited than me, and then I started following him, and there were many others as well. One of them, I don't remember his name, but he actually helped me pack my luggage. So what like we take all the useless stuff
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
Like my mom sent me that rope, the cloth hanging rope.
Oh,
with me.
yeah.
And I was like, it's no use. It's
Yeah.
just we have a dryers here. She was like, no, just take it with you. It might be one of the uses. I'm like, no. And that guy specifically mentioned, don't get all those.
Yeah.
Try to increase like even like 0.2 kgs.
For me, like, do you know Gur Sahib Singh? The YouTube. He do so
Uh-huh.
that guy has been helpful to me because like he shows a lot about Canada or like Canadian system and like he's an Indian guy, so he tells about to do what not to do. So that's I think.
Okay, I know about him. He once came to Walmart and everybody was, oh, he's that guy who shoots videos and stuff. I'm like, okay, I don't know about him. And so many of our like colleagues went to take pictures with him.
Yeah. Nice. What's the funniest mispronunciation of your name that have you encountered here in Cali? As your name is Indian,
Yeah.
just first say how it is pronounced and then you can talk about
So my name is actually pronounced as Kavya. And I have heard Kava, then Kaiva, and Kavya. But it was like Kavya. Then and it was like, oh, did I pronounce it with Kavya? And they're speaking it from their throat.
Yeah.
It's actually being spoken from our tongue. So the funniest was like Kava. Kava, I found it was the funniest because it's Kavy, not Kayva. Kava. Then for some time I changed it to Katie because it's my initials,
Yeah.
Kavya and the way. So I changed it, but I took it as Cadie. And at that moment, everybody laughed at me a lot. But that was fine for me because I was sick and tired of people calling me Keba. Like that.
Okay. One final question. What advice would you like to give to the future immigrants that are coming to not only this country, any country, from anywhere?
So one advice anyway.
I mean, if you want to talk about Canada, you can. But since you have only expense of coming to Canada, you can say about that.
So I would just say to any immigrant that if you are planning to go somewhere, just have a courage to stay there. Despite of any of the obligations. Personally, I felt the eye thing with snow. And snow is the thing which cannot be removed from Canada.
Yeah.
But you deal with it. You try and learn to deal with it, and then only you can. What can I say? It's like you have thought of something and then you have landed here.
Yeah.
Just complete what you are here for. Just complete your goal. And if your goal is PR, citizenship, complete that. And then if you wish, if your personal beliefs say if you want to go back, doesn't matter. But first complete your goal, whatever you have thought about. And then it's all like, then depends on what's the situation after that. Once you complete it, you won't feel like going back.
Yeah. Like you don't need to change the direction of your like thinking or like
Yeah.
how you were,
It's
how
all
why
the,
you came.
yeah. It's all the obligations which come. It's like the hurdle race.
Yeah.
You fell down. You
Mm.
again have to stand up just to finish to complete it to the finish line. If you
Mm.
complete the finish line, the road is clean for you.
Mm.
That's the only thing I feel.
Mm.
Stick to the goal.
Mm.
Many of my friends say, I'm going back to India. I don't want to. Why did you, like, I just say them, why did you came here?
Mm.
What was the only reason you thought coming here? And they're like, I wanted to earn. Why are you going back? Just earn and then go. Just complete at least your loans and then go.
Mm.
That's the thing I would mention to all the immigrants. Whatever goal here is, just set up and then go.
Okay, do you have any final thoughts to share?
Final thoughts. That's all. Just follow this guy. He's a great one. Just follow his podcast. And unlike me, there are many other people who say good things.
And you said a lot of good things. This was a really good podcast, I feel.
I
Not
don't.
that
I just said I was just complaining about all this stuff.
Still, like even if you commit, it can be helpful to people who are watching this, who are planning to commit.
Yeah. They get to know about the challenges.
So thank you so much, Kavya, for being the guest today.
Thanks.
And
I enjoyed it. I'm excited.
yeah, me too. Me too to edit those edit this podcast.
Yeah. That's all.
Thank you guys for seeing. I will see you in another episode. Bye for now.
Very happy actually because this is my last week of finals and then I'm done and ready to graduate.